What's up, guys? My name's Captain Dave and welcome back to the Captain's Quarters, the video in which I go through and answer all your questions and comments from last time's video. And yes, for anyone who might have just noticed that little difference in the intro there, I said last time's video instead of last week's video, and I think that's because it's becoming quite evident that with my time schedule, with as much as I've got going on right now, it's becoming impossible for me to do one of these every week. So it might just be a sort of thing where these Captain's Quarters just become as and when I can, because if I try and do them every single week, I'm not going to get round to it, and then it's just going to end up stopping, and that's not something I want, and I'm sure that's not something you guys want either. So it might just more become a thing when I get round to it. I'll do one of these, but I can't guarantee it's going to be every week anymore. But anyway, with that done and dusted, let's get on with answering the questions from 4 weeks ago. So actually, as of recording this, it's exactly 1 month ago I did the last one, so there you go. Maybe something just clicked in my head, like that month barrier hit, and something in my head told me to sit down and record this. But anyway, first question from Kieran Hay. Hey Dave, will you play Thor God of Thunder? Probably, I don't know. Like with most games, when I have got no plan to play it, never say never. You never know what's going to happen in the future, but I wouldn't exactly hold your breath about it. I think I watched some gameplay of that online once, and I wasn't too impressed. Unless I'm thinking of another Thor game. I don't know if there's 2 Thor games out. But if it's the one I'm thinking of, I saw some gameplay and I weren't really too impressed with it, to be honest. But as I say never. You never know what's going to happen in the future, but I wouldn't hold your breath. Cool Killer XZ said, Captain, what are your thoughts on a new Mass Effect game that is coming up soon, and are you going to use Javik more in your Mass Effect 3 walkthrough? Well, at the point of recording this, I do believe, I think as of the point of recording this, I have just started using Javik more. I mean, obviously, I finished recording the Mass Effect 3 walkthrough back in January. As you can see, if you ever see me hard save during the game, I think it was late January, early February, I actually finished recording the whole walkthrough. But yeah, towards the end of the game, Javik gets used quite a lot, just like Garrus did near the start of the game. Javik gets used quite a lot. I think as of recording this, you're up to the mission on Thessia, I believe. I think that's the second part of that is what's going live tonight. As of recording this, you probably will get this a day later. But yeah, as you can see, I used him during Leviathan, and I'm using him now during Thessia, and I use him a lot more as the game goes on towards the end, just because Javik does have cool stuff to say, and I don't know, I wish I'd used him more throughout the game. It's just there was loads of other characters who'd been there throughout the trilogy, like Tali, Liara, Garrus, and they had equally cool stuff to say and had a backstory to it. But trust me, if you ever want to have like a permanent squad through Mass Effect, definitely use Javik, because he's a good one. And also, what are my thoughts on the new Mass Effect game? Couldn't be more excited. Just, you all know by now how much my fanboyism for Mass Effect is. It's growing by the day. I've started playing again. Just in my own time, just not recording or anything, and I'm playing completely Renegade on the Insanity, playing a Sentinel, and it's become what I've sort of begun to call it, like myself. It's become the Legend of Gaston Shepherd. It's just I love playing the Renegade. It is so much fun. I never knew how much fun it was to play a Renegade before. Like I've dilly-dallied like doing Renegade options before, but I don't know, every time I just couldn't bring myself to be that horrible to my crew, but now I actually have. It's so hilarious, and I can't believe I haven't done it before. But yeah, playing on Insanity is definitely a challenge. It's taken me a lot longer to get missions completed, but it's a challenge I needed. I've been finding games way too easy as of late. But yeah, sorry, completely sidetracked there. But what are my thoughts on a new Mass Effect game that's coming up? I'm very much looking forward to it. The fact they don't have a time limit, EA. The fact they don't have a time limit, they seem to be able to have as much time and effort to be put into this as they like. I've got a feeling it's going to be as great as Mass Effect 1. Like, with regards to story and like a polished, well-rounded game. Like, that's what I'm referring to when I say Mass Effect 1. I'm not saying it's going to be as great and super duper as that was. I mean, because you can't experience a game for the first time again, if you see what I mean. It's still going to be Mass Effect. It's still going to be that universe. But I think with regards to how well-rounded and polished it's going to be on par with, say, Mass Effect 1 or 2. But it's going to have the graphics, if not better, than Mass Effect 3. And I'm referring to how well they can do, not how well they did do in Mass Effect 3. We all know about some of their unrendered, I can't talk today, unrendered models and some of their 2D images in the background. But for the up-close, high-res stuff like Shepard's face and whatnot, it's going to be the graphics of this generation with the well-rounded, polished game of Mass Effect 1 or something like that. So I'm very much looking forward to it, and if it means they take 5 years and then they extend it to 6 years and extend it to 7 years, whatever, I don't care. As long as they finish it 100%, like so much detail goes into it, I'll be happy. I don't care how long we have to wait. I'd much rather wait a long time and get just a bloody awesome game than them kick it out in the next 2 or 3 years and it have so many flaws in it, because that would just be horrible, because you waited all that long for no reason. But yeah, anyway, Vladax94 said, after ending Arkham Origins, what games will you play and upload next? And what do you think Sinister Six and Venom movies in the future? Speaking of Spider movies, Rhino will be in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 for only 4 minutes. Also, I knew of Guardians of the Galaxy before the movie, and I was excited knowing they will have a movie. Alright, a few questions there. So, after the ending of Arkham Origins, what games will I play and upload next? Games that I know for certain will be Marvel Lego Superheroes. That's definitely coming after Arkham Origins. Still haven't actually completed the game myself yet. I just don't have time. As I said, I just don't have time to sit down and play it. It's just coursework is just ruining my life right now. But yeah, so definitely next will be Lego Marvel Superheroes. After that, I don't know. After Mass Effect 3, also I don't know. I was thinking of doing Beyond Two Souls. I started playing that a while ago. Yes, I finally started playing it. I started playing that a while ago. Still haven't completed that either. But yeah, as I said, coursework is just destroying me at the moment. But yeah, there's a few games that obviously are always possibilities in the future, like X-Men Legends 1 and 2, which I would love to do, but I need to get an original Xbox to play that. And, you know, Web of Shadows, if I can ever bring myself to sit down and play that game. And, of course, as always, the elusive Fallout New Vegas. But the only game that is definitely guaranteed right now is Lego Marvel Superheroes, which will be coming after Arkham Origins, as I narrowly avoid a voice squeak then. That was close. Next question was, and what do you think of Sinister Six and Venom movies in the future? Yes. I thought this ever since Amazing Spider-Man 1 that they were leading towards the Sinister Six, and then I saw the trailer for Amazing Spider-Man 2, and you see all the like the Doc Ock's what are they called? Not claws, not tentacles, arms. How did I forget the word arms? But you see like Doc Ock's arms, and you see like Vulture's wings and stuff like that, and it's like, yep, they're definitely going the route of Sinister Six. And yes, Rhino's only going to be in Amazing Spider-Man for a tiny bit, which is, everyone kept saying they were worried there was going to be 3 enemies in Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I always knew there was only ever going to be 2. It was clearly obvious from the start that Rhino was only going to be in it for a tiny amount of time. Plus, if you've read Ultimate Spider-Man, you know that Rhino in Ultimate Spider-Man wasn't... He was alright, actually, but like in the Ultimate Spider-Man game I played, like, the Rhino was cool, the man inside was nothing. It was just... he was just a fat, bald man in his pants. But, yeah, I think the only reason they're sticking Rhino in at that start would be, one, to show how Spider-Man's, you know, getting to use his powers, and he's the great Spider-Man, blah, 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 and he'll be like just an enemy he defeats at the start. This is just me assuming yet. The film hasn't, obviously, I haven't seen the film yet. But it's just, I feel, so they can put Rhino in it. So then that way, when the third film comes out, they've already hinted at Vulture and Doc Ock, and they're the last 2 they need to bring in. Because then you've got, if they bring back Kurt Connors, you've got Kurt Connors, you've got Goblin, you've got Electro, you've got Rhino, you've got Octopus, and you've got Vulture. So there you got a makeshift Sinister Six right there. And of course, they Mark Webb a long time ago hinted, he put a picture on his Twitter, which, by the way, if you're not following Mark Webb on Twitter, I would heavily suggest doing that, because he posts a lot of Spider-Man teasers on there. It's a great idea to follow that man. But he posted a long time ago, like right after the Amazing Spider-Man 1 finished, a picture of like a locker, which, if you've read the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, was where Peter Parker's dad and Eddie Brock's dad was creating the Venom serum thing. And he put a picture of that right after Amazing Spider-Man 1, like just when they started filming Amazing Spider-Man 2. So I've got a feeling that teaser might also be in Amazing Spider-Man 2. So possibly even a Venom in the third one as well. Who knows? But yeah, definitely looking forward to it. I was hoping they were leading up to the Sinister Six right from the beginning, and it looks like they are going that way, and that makes me a very, very happy captain. Also, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, can't wait for that as well. That's awesome. Got another question here from someone's name I'm going to butcher, so I can only apologise. Orin, maybe? Gracelia. Said, hey Captain Dave, today is my 12th birthday. Yay, who cares? I care. It's your 12th birthday. And as I wrote in the comments, happy birthday for the 9th, or 4 weeks ago, or I can only apologise. Happy birthday for a month ago. So right, question number 1. I have seen your face. It looks like it's in its late 30s, but your voice sounds like it's very young, like 23ish. Why is that? Oh no, that's cold. I just wished you a happy birthday as well. My face looks like it's in its late 30s. Well, that's just, man, that's just that's what happens, kids, when you don't eat your vegetables and you stay up late too many nights, and you drink a lot, and you eat junk food. My face looks like it's in his 30s. Well, I am 25, so it's heading that way. And also, at this time of recording this, I've also grown a massive beard, so it's just made me look even older. But my voice sounds youngish. Maybe that's my inner youth coming out. So, oh man, my face looks 30. That's just, I didn't need that today. I did not need that today. My girlfriend showed me a picture of when I was 18 today. She found it on Facebook, and I didn't realise how much I'd aged in like the last 6-7 years. Man, I did not need to hear that today. Anyway, swiftly moving on. Question 2. Will you play Stick of Truth? I've seen it. It kind of looks like it's very disturbing though. Yeah, that's that South Park game. Absolutely got no interest in that. Sorry. Everyone keeps talking about how great it is, and it was slathered all over the YouTube homepage for a while. But honestly, a lot of people say it's good, but I would never play that. I played like a first-person shooter South Park game, like many years ago. It's one of those things that are relative buys for you, and it admittedly was a lot of fun. But no, I have absolutely no interest in ever playing that game. Number 3, a question that a lot of people I think later on in this Captain Quarters is also going to ask. So I'll just skip your question if you have asked this. Number 3 is, will you play Batman Arkham Knight? And the answer is yes, of course I will. I played Arkham Asylum, I played Arkham City, and I played Arkham Origins. Of course I'll be playing Arkham Knight. Goes without saying. It's like playing Mass Effect 1 and 2 and saying, will you play 3? It's like, oh, of course I will. silly question. The only thing is, there may be a delay with me playing it, because obviously it's on next-gen console and I do not currently own one. A lot of people say, yeah, why not just play it on PC, but I, other than playing a bit of DayZ and obviously my Walking Dead walkthrough, I have not had much PC gameplay under the belt. So, I mean, you think I can't dodge like counter buttons and jump over people and fight people with the shields now in Arkham Origins? Imagine how it would be with me fudging up my buttons on PC. You just, trust me, you don't want to see that. So, yeah, there might be a bit of delay on it when I try and save up for a next-gen console, but that is something that definitely will happen. Is that senior or senor? I think it's senior, but I want to say senor just because it sounds better. Senor Stefan said, you know what I want to see? A game where you can play as Carnage or Venom from the Spider-Man universe, or a film about Carnage or Venom. Well, if you play Ultimate Spider-Man, you can play as Venom. So there's that, and you get to fight Carnage. But yeah, they kind of already do have a game like that. So. And Matt the Geek replied to him saying there was one back in the Mega Drive where you could play as Spider-Man or Venom to take on Carnage. I think it was called Maximum Carnage, but that was about 20 years ago. We never know. They might make a remake of it one day. Teabag Flame said, with what equipment do you record with? Radio. I might have to put this in like the information section on YouTube actually, because I get asked this quite a bit. To record my Xbox and PlayStation, I use a HD Hauppauge PVR. About, God, how long did I start my channel? Was it 3-4 years ago? Back then it was running at about £200. I know there's a PVR, a Hauppauge 2 out now, and that I think it's been vastly trumped by a much better recording equipment. If speak to Tommy at GeekSpace, the one he's using right now is quite good, and if I had money I'd probably buy it. Can't remember what it's called, but there are much better recording equipment out there than the Hauppauge now. But it's doing me fine. There's no reason for me to upgrade right now. If it isn't broke, don't fix it, as they say. But yeah, so I use that to record from my Xbox and my PlayStation. Regards to recording my audio, so like what you're hearing right now, I just use my old Turtle Beach PX21s. Same thing I use when I'm playing the game. It's just the mic quality is actually quite good. It's amazing how long I've had this thing. I think just as long as I've had my channel, about 3 or 4 years, and it's just never let me down. It works really well. I use it for talking over here. I use it for recording this. I use it for recording my live gameplay as well. Speaking of recording live gameplay, when I'm recording with my PlayStation, with my Xbox, that's the Horpag obviously. When I'm recording my voice during gameplay, I use Audacity. It's you can download it for free online, and it's brilliant. You just download it and you just hit record, and it records your voice, and it's brilliant. All you got to do is just try and sync it up with the gameplay. That's the only issues you may have. And obviously for editing, I use Sony Vegas Pro. God knows how much that costs right now, but I've heard that Windows Live Movie Maker, which comes with your PC, works just as well, but you won't be able to do anything fancy with the editing. But you'll be able to make a nice simple video. But if you want to do something fancy, then Sony Vegas. It's definitely worked out well for me. And recording gameplay of the PC, I've used Fraps in the past. My free version ran out, so I might have to actually purchase the thing now, especially if I ever want to record The Walking Dead. But yeah, so for PlayStation, Xbox, Horpag, just my Turtle Beach headset. For PC, Fraps, and then for audio, Audacity. So that's what I use. There are other things out there, and there might be much better things out there now, because as I say, this was 3 or 4 years ago I got these things, and I've just stuck with them because I'm a bit of a hoarder like that. I sort of get something, and unless it actually breaks, I don't see the point in upgrading. So you might want to have a look around. There might be better things out there now, but that's what works for me, and it's tried and true method that if it isn't broke, don't fix it. Matt the Geek said, Little Mac is the kid from Punch-Out. I have never actually even played Punch-Out, to be honest with you, so I still don't know who he is. Strider was an old game being remade to keep alive the franchise. And stop people queue jumping. Yep, Dave's British, alright. Yeah, well, hey, what can I say? It grinds my gears. Play Dark Souls, it's tougher, it's warding. Yeah, I've had a few people tell me about Dark Souls, actually. But as I say, the way I'm getting destroyed by coursework at the moment, I can't even play the games I do have. As I say, for over a year and 4 months now, I've had Saints Row the Third sitting there wrapped up, and I still haven't played it. Haven't even unwrapped it from its casing. So maybe when the summer rolls around and I've got some time off, I might be able to sit down and finally play some of these games. The Darkman One Fest said, what was the first game that made you realise you love video games? See, that's a hard question. Any questions that relate to when I was younger or my childhood are really quite hard to answer. I don't know whether it's just because I've got a shoddy memory or what. Or maybe it's because I've got epilepsy. Maybe it's just it fried my memory before I started my medication. Who knows? But I find it really hard to pinpoint exact moments from when I was younger. So, I don't know. I remember there were some games that I remember playing a lot when I was younger. Alex the Kid on the... was it the Mega Drive or the Sega Mega Drive? I think it was. I remember playing Alex the Kid a lot. I loved that game. That game was awesome. Obviously, stuff like Sonic, Crash Bandicoot, games like that I loved. I don't know. I'm trying to think. There were obviously games a lot before that as well, like the original Pokemons. I played them a hell of a lot as well. There were so many games that I used to play, but when I first started playing video games, I wasn't aware of, I wasn't on the internet, I wasn't aware of what the big games were, I weren't following anything. The only games I ever played were the games that my my nan bought me when she bought me the PlayStation magazines, and a free demo came with it. So they were the only games I'd play, and then there'll be a game down the market that some random family member would buy me, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I played that. So everyone talks about these great epic games from like the 90s and the 2000s and stuff like that, and I don't know what they're talking about. Even though that was my era, I've got no idea because I didn't know what the games were at the time. I just played whatever was put in front of me. So, but no, Alex the Kid, Crash Bandicoot, Sonic, stuff like that, always great. Never really played Mario until I was quite a lot older. Not until I was at least in my late teens did I actually play Mario. But yeah, all the games I played when I was younger were like really obscure games that for the life of me I couldn't remember the name of. There's one of the game Rogue Trip. It was like a racing game but it was like one, but all your cars were like unique. It was like Wacky Racers almost. It's like you're an ambulance and one was a hot dog car and one was a tank and stuff like that. There's a game called Blast Chamber that was just hilarious. You had like 4 men in almost like a cube, and you had to try and grab the crystal, but you could turn the room around so all your men would fall in the spikes and stuff. That was hilarious. But yeah, something like probably Alex the Kid, Crash Bandicoot, one of them. Probably the first games that made me Pokemon. Probably the first games that made me really love gaming. Obviously, then later on, there was stuff like Ultimate Alliance that really caught my attention, but obviously that was a lot later on. But yeah, it's just stuff from my childhood. I find it really hard to actually pinpoint an exact time when stuff happened. My memory just from back then is just fading and fading by the day. Mission Unstoppable 1 said, "Hey Dave, when are you going to upload Walking Dead Season 2? Also, have you completed GTA 5, and if you did, what ending did you choose? P.S. Trevor is hilarious." When I'm going to upload Walking Dead Season 2, like I said earlier, I need to upgrade or rebuy or get fraps again, because the Walking Dead Season 1 I recorded on the PC. So the only other thing I can do is, which I'm actually tempted to, is buy Walking Dead Season 1, 2 on Xbox and 400 Days on Xbox, and sort of just play through Season 1 again on my own, making the same decisions I did in Season, like in my walkthrough, and then I'll just carry on from the Xbox. It might save me having to rebuy fraps and then record, because recording through PC gameplay, although it does look better, the file sizes are just ridiculously huge. Like 2 to 3 minute clip recording from PC can take almost 5 to 10 gig of recording space, whereas if I record from my Xbox, 2 hours might take 10 gig. So it's like, you can tell the difference. I have to record one episode and get that all edited and rendered like that night. I have no room on my PC. So I don't know, I might buy them on Xbox, record it that way, or I might just buy fraps, rebuy it I guess, and then record it on my PC. But either way, I have to wait until I have money to. Both of them regard money, so hopefully my student loan should be coming in. So a nice way to utilising that student loan for what it's meant to be used for, eh? Buying The Walking Dead. Screw coursework, screw sketchbooks. I'm buying The Walking Dead. Also, yes, I have completed GTA 5, and I chose the ending. I can't remember what it is actually called, but it was the ending where everybody lived. I didn't pick a side or anything like that. Just everyone survived. Hell, you've seen the end of my Mass Effect 2 walkthrough. Everyone survives. Everyone gets out alive. Blast Eye Studio said, "Random question. If you had to hire a new voice actor for Zaid Masani, as his original voice actor sadly passed away, who would you hire and why? Also, do you think about the casting of Human Torch in the new Fantastic Four film?" Yeah, it's very unfortunate to hear that. It happened obviously a long time ago. Well, not a long time ago, but quite a while ago. But yeah, I think I mentioned it in the walkthrough actually, that the voice actor for Zaid Masani died. But I don't know, who would I... For some reason, Jason Statham comes to my mind first. I don't know why. He's the first person that comes to my mind. Do you know why? For some reason, I don't know, like, he's not British, so I mean, he might be able to do a British accent, I don't know, but based on his character, I'm thinking Woody Harrelson. I don't know why. It might just be the way Zaid looks, and like the way Woody looks, and it's the way most of Woody Harrelson's characters are as well. I'm just thinking Woody Harrelson would make, and actually if they made a Mass Effect film, Woody Harrelson would make a great Zaid Masani. Wow, I'm glad I thought about that. That's actually a really good one. Because obviously, I mean, if you could do a British accent, awesome. But making Zaid Texas, or Texan, or how you're supposed to say it, like that sort of accent that Woody Harrelson has, it's southern sort of accent. It's just I think he would actually make a really good Zaid, like both in looks and personality. I think that's actually spot on. I mean, there's obviously a lot of people who won't agree, but yeah, and also obviously these questions are never just directed at me. I mean, if you had to pick someone for Zaid Masani, who would you pick as well? So. Also, what do I think about the casting of Human Torch in the new Fantastic Four film? I looked at this a while ago, actually. Someone pointed it out to me, and I've completely forgot who he is. So I'm just going to go look it up now. Fantastic Four reboot. Oh no, Fantastic Four reboot. Apparently, reboot. Human Torch. Oh yeah, I remember. Obviously I don't mind. I think I've learned to trust. My trust got destroyed when I watched Daredevil, but recently I've learned to trust Marvel and Sony, etc. when they're making their films, because they've cast people in the past and I've looked at it and thought, wow, this really isn't going to work, and then they released a film and I'm thinking, wow, they did a really good job with that. The only thing I'm kind of curious about is the Fantastic Four is supposed to be a family, and I'm guessing this is why you're asking. It's the fact that Susan Storm and Johnny Storm are supposed to be brother and sister, and yet from what I've seen from the casting list, Susan's white and Johnny's black. So I'm not sure how they're going to try and explain that. Maybe they're going to say they're both adopted or something. Maybe like foster care, or maybe just in this reboot they're not going to be related. Or maybe it's like stepbrother and sister, or who knows? I don't know. I don't know how they're going to go with this. But I've learned to trust Marvel or Sony or whoever it is who's making this reboot. I haven't actually seen. Yeah, that was actually... Who is making this? If someone could tell me, that'd be great. Who is making this reboot? Is it Marvel? Oh yeah, the reboot of the Marvel property, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I think it's been remade by Marvel, but if I'm wrong, someone correct me. But yeah, I'm kind of curious if they're going to stick with the brother and sister route, and if so, how they're going to explain it. But honestly, with regards to it, I mean, he looks like a sort of person who would play a good Human Torch, to be honest. Looking at his picture now, he looks like he has that cocky sort of... Not like in a bad guy sort of role, but he looks like he has that sort of cocky arrogance that Johnny Storm has. He looks like he's going to be able to pull it off quite well. So, and obviously he clearly has looks for it as well. So, just like Chris Evans did as well when he played the Human Torch. So, but yeah, no, I'm curious to see what they're going to do with it. But as far as I can tell right now, he looks like he's going to be a good Johnny Storm. Just kind of curious how they're going to tell it story-wise. Yusuf Yasir said, Dave, there is a Justice League movie coming out on the same year as Avengers 2, from what I've heard. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. They always... I don't see why rival companies have ever done this. I've always kind of wondered why rival companies always release stuff at the same time. It always baffles me. As if I had another company... Say that there was another channel on YouTube. There probably is, for all I know. This is how little I actually care about what everyone else does. If say there was another channel on YouTube that only did like comic book games and Mass Effect, and that's all they've ever done, and they're also British, and they're also called General Stephen or something like that. It's just like very, very, very similar to my channel. I was like, if I saw that and he was also at the same like subscriber count as I am or whatever, and we were literally like absolute competition with each other. If he had released a start of a new walkthrough, I wouldn't release mine at the same time. I just think that they say it's about the competition, but I'm just like, that's stupid. I'm like, why battle for viewers when you could just wait for their one to finish and then release yours and then get all the viewers? It just it just makes no sense to me. And like films do it and companies do it, and they release two films at the same time, like Ants and Bugs Life and Armageddon and Deep Impact. And I know it's because like they hear the script and then they make another film quicker. Olympus Has Fallen, White House Down. The list is endless, but I just don't see why you want the competition. I'd think, well, why not just wait and then get all the views? It just makes more sense. Kind of like Game of Thrones and Walking Dead. I mean, I know they're two different ones. Like, was it AMC and one's HBO or so? I don't know American channels. I really don't. But in England, they're shown on Fox and Atlantic. So obviously they're two different channels. But literally, The Walking Dead finishes, and then next Monday, Game of Thrones starts, and that's perfect. They could have easily put them both on at Monday at 9 o'clock and be like, oh, who's going to watch what? It's just, I don't know, I've gone on a bit of a rampage there, which is nothing to do with the question. I just don't see why companies do that. Why release Justice League the same year or the same time as Avengers? I would like completely make it separate. Like, I wouldn't want the competition. It just it baffles me. Especially seeing as how Avengers has all this backstory and history and a whole plethora of movies before it, where Avengers, Justice League, other than Man of Steel and Batman, really don't. So I don't know. I wouldn't want the competition, to be honest. Yusuf Yazir said, Dave, you would suit the voice of either Batman or Spider-Man, and the topic sounds interesting. Also, I asked this question on your last video, but you never answered. So here it is. What if the new Mass Effect 4, you can be an alien, male or female, and customize him or her, and you can have a DLC where you can be the species that the Shadow Broker was, and the story could be about you stopping all new powerful threat which is conquering the universe. So what do you think? Please let me know and what you think about it. I'm pretty certain I did answer that question. I'm almost certain I did. But let me just quickly reread that one again. New Mass Effect 4 character can be any alien, female, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think the thought would be in any species. I think is quite good. It would definitely, like, right now, obviously everyone knows you can choose your backstory, and you can choose sort of like where you hail from, like where did you come from, Earth, a colony, a spacer, and also sort of your personality you can sort of choose. There's a backstory. It would be quite good if maybe they got rid of one of those options and made another one, you choose a species. So that way the backstory could still be the same for whatever species you chose, but it would be quite cool because then you can choose a certain type of alien, and then you can have a whole new backstory. So you come from Tuchanka, or you come from Palaven or Fessia, or it would create a whole new sort of like realm of backstories. The only thing I'm thinking is, I'm pretty certain, I mean, I might be wrong about this, but I'm pretty certain they said Mass Effect 4, it's not going to be called Mass Effect 4, but obviously we don't know the name, so we're just going to have to call it that for now. But from what I've heard, they said that it's still going to be like sort of like one man against stuff, blah 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 blah, but it's not going to be on the same scale as it was with the other Mass Effect games. You're not saving the whole galaxy, you're not trying to save the whole universe, there's not one threat trying to wipe out everything. It's nothing on the scale as Shepard and the Reapers. I think they might be creating more of a more localized story. Say like it's just taking place not just on one place, because obviously there's going to be space travel and stuff, but the story isn't going to, they said it won't be on as great a large, like, oh, I can't get my words all tangled up here. It's not going to be on as larger scale, basically. The story might just be relating to just one world, or one city, or sort of just like one race, or something like that. It's not necessarily going to be like the whole galaxy is in the palm of your hand, and your choices mean everything. I think it's going to be more of a localized story. At least that's what I've heard. I could be completely wrong. But, yeah, I definitely don't think they should. I'm kind of glad about that, because if they did a new story where there's a powerful threat trying to conquer the universe again, it'll be like, what? It'll kind of make no sense with the whole Reaper story as well. It'll be like, wait, so there's a new threat trying to conquer the galaxies and the Reapers just didn't know about it. Unless, of course, this great new threat came from an entire different Milky Way, an entire different universe, and they've travelled all this way through dark space. So then the Reapers never would have met them, so that would make sense. But yeah, from what I've heard, they're making it a bit more of a localized story. But no, having your main character be a different species, that would be quite cool. UCC also asked, also the main villain in Arkham Knight is a brand new villain known as the Arkham Knight. Oh, okay, that makes sense with the title. Who's supposed to be never seen before in DC history. Huh. Well, colour me intrigued. Mr. Candyman 13 said, Spider Dave, first off, Batman Arkham Origins, can't remember the name of the episode, but it's when the Jew basically, or maybe it's the dude basically exploded across the room. Sadly, I do check behind me when I use stalls now. Oh, right. Oh, you're talking, it was like the first or second episode where we found the first crime scene, and what was his name? Shannon something or other. He was in the toilet and he blew out through the wall. Yeah, well, what can I say? I'm making your life safer. I'm curious, why you did not go for voice acting as a career? You're good with playing with your voice, except for when I get tongue-tied, which I'm doing a lot more as I get older. It's because, to be honest, up until doing this whole YouTube thing, I've never, in like real life, especially growing up and when I was younger and in my teens, and here we go, we're going to get a whole heartfelt backstory here, but I've never been that confident of a person around other people. Around close friends and family, there, you're sort of getting what you're hearing now, but around people I didn't know, I wasn't that confident. It's only really been about a year or two before I started YouTube. Probably even YouTube actually really brought it out in me, but I've never really been that confident of a person. So something like voice acting, everyone looking at you, having your voice being recorded, it just seemed like something I'd never ever want to do. I mean, now, don't be wrong, the thought has crossed my mind several times, but I've watched like videos on YouTube of voice actors and how they do, and basically voice acting is acting. It's just you don't have a camera on you, it's just a microphone, but you are still acting in the same way, and quite often you have to think about stuff quite a lot more, because whereas acting, you can show a shocked expression in your eyes. Voice acting, it all has to be done vocally. So, yeah, don't get me wrong. If it was something I thought I could do, I would love to. But also, I'm not obviously making excuses, but as half the world does now, having dyslexia, it makes reading particularly an issue for me. As you've probably seen throughout Mass Effect and Batman, when I have to read like memos at the story time and stuff like that, and it takes like twice as long as the average bear to read it. But but yeah, I mean, in a great world, yeah, I'd love to give it a try, but realistically, I don't think I could. I wouldn't be able to read the script, and then, because quite often they have the script appear in just 5 seconds before they have to say it. They don't read it, memorize it, and then go out and say it like an actor does. They just have like a teleprompter in front of them, like TV presenters, and they've literally just got to say it as it comes. And I'd love to do it, but realistically, I don't think that's something I'd be able to do. Plus, I'm already sort of got a career on the way now. But don't get me wrong, if someone like a game company was to come up to me and said, "Hey, we've seen your YouTube channel, we'd like you to do a voice in our game," then I wouldn't say no. I'll definitely say yes, but I'm not gonna actively go out there and seek it. As actually part of one of my assignments, we've got to make a storyboard right now and then convert it into an animatic. And I was thinking about adding some voices to the characters, so who knows? Maybe I'll chuck in a few. I won't try and do an American accent though, because we know how badly that went. You also asked in Mass Effect 3 question, can you kill Admiral Zen? She clearly does not understand retaliation. First she wanted to make the Geth obedient, now she wants to do it again, but make Legion her a gunny pig. Gunny pig. Can you kill Admiral Zen? I'm trying to think so. I don't think you can, as far as I know. I know if you don't have Tali Zora in Mass Effect 3, like if she died in the suicide mission in Mass Effect 2, or etc, etc. If you don't have her in Mass Effect 3, Admiral Zen comes on with you on the mission with the Geth Dreadnought. She comes with you instead of Tali, except for she isn't a squad mate. She stands back, and then every cutscene she runs back and catches up with you. But yeah, Admiral Zen comes aboard the Geth Dreadnought instead of Tali if Tali's dead. But as far as I know, I don't think you can actually kill Admiral Zen. Well, no, there is. Well, actually, no, yeah. Actually, by this point, I suppose I can say it because you've probably seen Mass Effect 3 up until this point. Obviously, if you haven't watched all of my Mass Effect 3 walkthrough, you might want to turn your ears off for a second. But up to this point, right now, you should have already seen this video. But the only way I'm guessing you can actually kill Admiral Zen is if you kill all the Quarians when you've got that big bit at the end of Rannoch with Tali and Legion. And I mean, it can go one of three ways. Either all the Quarians die, all the Geth die, or both survive. So, I guess if you want to kill Admiral Zen, that's one way of doing it. But unfortunately, you lose the rest of the Quarian race and Tali in the process. But I guess it just depends how much you hate Admiral Zen. Peter Moore said, imagine you won the lotto. What would be your first 10 things you'd do? Wow, you're making me think of 10 things, Peter. You're trying to make me think of 10 things. First 10 things that I'd do. Number 1, as boring as it sounds, I would pay off all of my bills. Sounds really boring, but it's kind of a sign to show I'm growing up. But all my life I have been as poor could be. Not, I said that's a bit of a lie. I haven't been that poor. But basically the way my life goes right now is I get paid, and then later that day I've got 40 quid in my bank account because it's all gone on rent and bills, and I don't get to see any of it. So first thing I'd do was pay off everything. I'd pay off my student loans, even though I haven't finished university yet. I'd just get it all paid off, and then buy me and my girlfriend a nice house. Probably go on a holiday. Buy myself just a whole shit ton of just expensive equipment like computers. I'd buy next gen consoles. I'd get myself a beast of a tower made for my PC. I'll do everything I've always wanted to do, basically. I'd probably actually put so much more time and effort into this whole YouTube thing. I'd probably work on getting other people involved. I'd work on getting bigger and more expensive projects done. There's so many things I've always wanted to do with this, and I just know I never can. I don't have the time to do it along with other stuff. But obviously, if I'd won the lottery, that would definitely expand the amount of things I could do. But yeah, and obviously, if I won the lottery, I wouldn't have to go to work either. Which means if I haven't got to go to work, that means I've got all day, every day, just to do this. So the amount of things I'd be able to do would be a lot more. But I don't know, it's one of those things I've never really thought about, because you think about winning the lottery and then you realise you don't have that money. It just makes you sad. So I don't know, buy myself a car, because I haven't had one for over a year or so now. So I miss driving, so I'd definitely like to get myself a car again. That would be lovely. But no, there's a whole bunch of things I'd love to do. Probably get myself another tattoo as well. No, but first off, it would be the boring things. Pay off all my bills, all my debts, all that sort of stuff. Just get myself nice and clear and happy. Finally go to America. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Couldn't really think of an order I'd put it in. Probably buy a whole bunch of games I've always wanted as well. There's loads of stuff I'm probably forgetting, but you know what I'm like. I get put on the spot with questions like this and I just can't think of the answer. So Peter Moore also said, just saw your Spidey tattoo, awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah, and as I say, if I won the lottery, I'd probably get the other sleeve done. I was thinking of getting an X-Men one done. But now, obviously, having discovered my love for Mass Effect, who knows, I might get a Mass Effect style tattoo. I've got to think by this point, my girlfriend hates Mass Effect, the amount I talk about it. Getting a tattoo, I think, will just seal the deal. Satinera said, when will you do Arkham Knight? Oh no, will I do Arkham Knight? Yes, I will. Jimmy Rivera said, thanks for answering my question, and if you had to pick a superhero team, who'd be on it and why? And finally, Fallout New Vegas ASAP. Or should I say Fallout New Vegas ASAP, because it was in capitals. Hey, I never say never. Fallout is definitely coming back, and as I've said a couple of times now, this summer break that I've got coming up, it is a quite a large possibility Fallout might actually happen. I've been having the urge to play that game again, especially with Mass Effect ending. I need another RPG to throw myself into, or at least a long game to throw myself into. And also for I forget who keeps asking. Is it Seb who keeps asking me as well? But I have also been looking into Dragon Age Origins as well. Whether or not I'll make a walkthrough of it, I don't know, but I've been looking into playing it, so there's that. But if going back to your question, if I had to pick a superhero team, who would be on it and why? It'd probably just be whoever my favourites are. So Spider-Man, Iceman, The Thing, and a whole bunch of people I'm going to forget because my mind's just like that. You know what I'm like when I get put on the spot? I can't think of answers to questions. It'd be Spider-Man, Iceman, The Thing. Pretty much most of the people are in the New Avengers, or at least were in the New Avengers during like the Civil War time anyway, because I haven't read anything recent in a very long time. But yeah, I don't know, there's loads of other characters I'm obviously forgetting, but I get put on the spot like this and I can't think of answers. My mind's terrible like that. But yeah, Spider-Man, Iceman, Thing, always going to be good choices. Yusuf Yazir said, I can imagine a Lego Romance option for Miranda. That's going to be so funny, yeah. See, how would they make that ass? How would they make that ass if it's a pixelated Lego? How would it be done? Don't think it can be. See, it just wouldn't be Miranda. I'm going to butcher your name again. Orin Gracia said, oh yeah, I almost forgot, will you play Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelation 3 and 4? It's just like Batman, but the only difference is the character kills. I've been asked this question a lot, and honestly, I doubt I will ever play it. It's just, don't get me wrong, it's a great game. I played a bit of 4 when I went Eurogamer last year, and everyone says it's a great game, but it honestly just does not appeal to me. I'm not really that interested in playing it, unfortunately. I think it's one of those games you can just say like I've been saying all day, never say never, but honestly I can never see myself sitting down and playing it and recording it. Jim Veneer said, I beat Pokemon League the first time on Y. The only really hard part was the champion because she had 6 Pokemon, the only one to have 6 Pokemon, which I find really weird. Really? Is she the only person, is that just in the league or is that in the whole game? If so, I can't believe I never noticed that. But I think if you do the Pokemon League a second time, then everyone has 6 then, because their level goes up by about 10 or 20, and they have 6 Pokemon then, I believe. But yeah, if you do the Pokemon League a second time, it definitely gets harder. Jimania also said, by the way, Cap, on Metal Gear Rising, there's hardly any Falcon punching, just slashing the entire time. There could be a Falcon slash with a high frequency Muramasha. I don't even know what that is, but that's just my opinion. It's not until the last punch you go up to him without a sword, and that's required, and that was required throughout the game. And when you got to that point, you immediately fought 1,000 Fists of Fury. Of course, sorry, should I say 1,000 Fists of Fury? Hey, what can I say? If you're thinking of stuff like that when you're playing other games, then you know it's a good game. Any game with 1,000 Fists of Fury, it's up there in my books. Meow Nom. You're gonna have to tell me if I'm saying your name right. Remember me, it's John. Just stops to say hello. Unfortunately, I do not. Sorry. Yeah, I've known quite a few Johns throughout my life, so you might have to refresh my memory a little bit. I'm really busy with school, so I always have little or no time. Got a lot of ME3 to catch up. I have a question for you, but can't wait until next Captain's Quarter, so I'll ask on Facebook. Keep up the good work. Oh, fair enough. In that case, I probably answered your question on Facebook, so I probably do know who you are. Masterkill492. Do you like South Park, and are you going to be playing at South Park The Stick of Truth? As I said earlier, I have absolutely no interest in the game, so no, I won't be playing that. It really is hilarious, man. Did you play any Resident Evils, and did you like them? And if you did, would you do a walkthrough of any of them? I played one of the very, very first Resident Evils, and I watched a walkthrough of Resident Evil 5, I think it was. But literally the only thing I found entertaining about it was the fact that it was the people doing the walkthrough of it were hilarious. And that was because they made the game fun, if you see what I mean. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not bad games, but it's a sort of game that I start playing, and before the end of the game I get bored and stop. There's nothing really keeping me interested in it, to be honest. I remember playing one of the very, very first ones, but that only scared me because I was a kid at the time, so... what games am I looking forward to playing this year other than Amazing Spider-Man 2? Do you know what? Honestly, I don't know. As I said, I've been so busy with stuff like coursework and all that sort of jazz recently. I only find out about new games and stuff like that when you guys tell me. I don't look at this sort of stuff. I don't try and find out. The only game I'm looking forward to right now is Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Mass Effect 4. And Mass Effect 4 don't come out for God knows how many years yet. And Arkham Knight, I guess, as well. But honestly, I'm not looking forward to any games. There's nothing that's I'm particularly excited about, to be honest. Probably the rest of the Walking Dead season, when that eventually all comes out. I'm looking forward to those. But yeah, and the next instalment of Pokemon. I suppose there are a few then. Next instalment of Pokemon as well. But yeah, I don't follow relevant up-to-date stuff. Like, I'm years behind in the comic books right now. I have no idea about any new games that are going to be coming out. I just don't keep up with this sort of stuff. I just don't. I don't know why. Maybe it's a getting older thing. Who knows? But I don't have the time or the interest to keep up with it all, unfortunately. I only find out about all this stuff when you guys tell me. I'm Patriot59 said, hey Dave, 2 questions. Have you ever heard of the game called The Getaway? It's pretty much a British version of GTA and has a similar story to Heavy Rain. I have not heard of it. Second question is, do you think there will be a second Deadpool game? Wouldn't surprise me if there was, to be honest with you. I mean, everyone, right now Deadpool's just got some major hype, especially with young people. They seem to really like Deadpool. And then old people get angry because the young people are forcing Disney to make a more cartoony version of Deadpool instead of the serious adult version of Deadpool. So, but yeah, obviously wouldn't surprise me if there was a Deadpool 2, because man, I've just completely lost where that question was. Oh yeah, there it is. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if there was a second Deadpool game, because I'm assuming the first one made a lot of money. And from what I've seen, people found the game funny. And I mean, other than the issues I was having with the game itself when I was recording the walkthrough, which obviously later on turned out to be the Xbox, but other than the issues I was actually having trying to record the game itself was quite fun. It was just irritating the amount of times I had to play it, because my recording kept freezing. So, but no, the actual game itself was alright. It wasn't anything too special, but it was basically the humour of Deadpool made up for what the game lacked. But it was an alright game. It just went outstanding. It wouldn't surprise me if a second one came out. Coral Kobrak said, could you play Papers, please? It's short and fun, so it's not time consuming. Play Papers. I've never even heard of that game. I don't know if that's PC, Xbox, or if you're just talking about rock, paper, scissors. I've got no idea, sorry. Marskill492 said, by the way, man, that's some badass ink. Oh, thank you very much. I do enjoy it. It's one of those things I always worried with time throughout the years when I grow to hate it, but hasn't happened yet. I still love it. The Captain Junior said that, Dave, have you ever played the multiplayer and just fudged up the buttons because you haven't played in a while and just got destroyed? And my little brother said he saw you on Twitter and he said he looks like our dad. Man, damn it, that's two people who said I look old. God damn it. This is not a good day for my self-esteem, I'm telling you. I get shown a picture of me 7 years ago and my face is all saggy and I've got a massive beard now. And I get one person say I look 30 and someone else say I look like their dad. That's just, man, I don't think I ever want to leave my flat again. But yeah, when you're saying about multiplayer, are you talking about Mass Effect 3, Arkham Origins, or are you just talking about multiplayer in general? Because if you're talking about multiplayer in general, then hell yes, I've definitely fudged up my buttons, and I think the only term for it could be I've lost my shit. I completely got angry, and there's that point where you want to hit something, but the only things in front of you are your flat screen, your Xbox or your Xbox controller, or your PlayStation controller, and obviously I don't want to hurt any of them. So I just more end up standing there, just looks like I'm doing the Roblox. I'm just looking around my room for something to destroy. But yeah, obviously I don't think anyone can say they've ever played a multiplayer and not got just frustrated because they've messed their buttons up. But anyway, yes, your first question is how long is Mass Effect 3 with all the DLC? Well, as of right now, I don't know. I haven't finished editing everything yet. It's definitely going to be longer than my Mass Effect 2 walkthrough, without a doubt. Editing wise, I think I'm just about to hit episode 100 soon, and we are nowhere near the end. No, I mean, without the DLC, we would be near the end, if not ended by now. But the DLC, especially the Citadel DLC, is a long one. The Citadel DLC, I think, is about 3 or 4 hours in itself. And obviously that's cut into 20 minutes / 30 minute videos. So, although the first episode of the Citadel DLC is a 40-minute episode, because it's literally just story time with Admiral Anderson. So I figured splitting that into 2 episodes would be a bit of a slap in the face. So the first episode of the Citadel DLC, you've got a 40-minute long episode coming up, but that's not for a while yet for you guys, so I won't worry about that. But yeah, Mass Effect 3, as I say, I haven't finished editing all of it. Obviously, I got it all recorded months ago. But I think, I don't know, in total, it was like 35, 40 hours. I think the whole total of it all is. I don't know, let's have a look. What are we up to now with it? As of uploaded stuff right now, we are looking at... It does not say. I could have swore it used to say how many hours it was. I could have swore it did. Maybe if I actually go on videos and playlists and whatnot. It does not say. Oh, that's weird. It used to say. See, this is why I don't get why YouTube changes stuff. What's the point in changing it? It used to. When you went on your video playlist, it used to say how long all the videos combined were, like how many hours the playlist was. God damn it. But anyway, yeah. As far as I know, I think the full walkthrough I think like the last save I ever did was like 35 or 40 hours or something like that. But yeah, it's definitely going to be longer than the Mass Effect 2 walkthrough was, especially because of the Citadel DLC. Question 2 is what if you got to design a story for Mass Effect 4 and most important of all, BDs? I'm not sure what BDs mean, or BDs, I'm not sure what that means, sorry. But what if I got to design the story for Mass Effect 4? I honestly have no idea what I'd do. And it's one of those things that I've always said, like, to anyone when I'm talking to them and they say about like how much I like Mass Effect and stuff. If I ever completed university and somehow I got a job working for BioWare. Like, God knows how that happened. Say that actually happened, and they said, alright, we're starting the next Mass Effect game, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, I'd accept, but I would never actively seek out to work on that project, because I love Mass Effect so much. I want to experience it as a gamer, and if I was one of the people actually creating the game, it would be great. It would be an awesome experience to work on something like that. But it's one of the things in life that I love right now, is playing that game and the next game that's going to come out and replaying the story and seeing things I didn't know. And then if I had my hand in actually creating that, then that magic would get kind of taken away, because I'd know everything that's going to happen before it happens. I would have helped design the set, design the objects, or maybe design the story, or I don't know. A lot of stuff nearly all of it would get spoiled for me before I got to play it. So honestly, obviously, if I got offered that, I'd definitely take it. But I'd never actively seek it out, because it'd ruin it for me. If I was the one to create the story, then I wouldn't get to enjoy the story. Jim Jenks said, "Hi Dave, what did you think of Amazing Spider-Man 2 gameplay? I thought it looked cool." I thought it looked awesome, to be honest with you. I thought it looked really good. Like, they've taken all the good things that from the first Amazing Spider-Man game, like the whole web rush thing. They loved that. They got such a hard on for that in the first Amazing Spider-Man game. I'm not surprised they kept it with the second one. But the one thing that I do love about the Amazing Spider-Man 2 game they've done, and it's slipping my mind, is the fact that they're finally listened to everyone complaining, and they've made it so now when you web swing in Amazing Spider-Man 2, you can only web swing if there's a building around, and if so, he actually locks onto the building. So the right bumper will be your right hand, and your left bumper will be your left hand when it comes to web swinging, which I think is a good thing. Fine, and they made a big point also in the sort of the gameplay trailer they did. They made a big point of letting everyone know that they've listened to the fans' feedback and everything like that. And hey, more power to them. They've listened to what people have said and they've implemented it. So no, I think it looks really good. And a lot of people say, "Oh my god, this is just ripping off Batman. This is ripping off this. This is ripping off that. Blah 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 blah." And I'm like, so what? Who cares? Batman was an awesome game. More games should copy it. And it's like, Batman wasn't necessarily the first one to do that. It's like, look at games like Metal Gear Solid, where they had the whole line of sight, you had to stay out of it stuff. Well, Batman's stealth takedown and all that sort of stuff, just ripping off Metal Gear Solid. It was an updated, better looking version. I don't see why people get angry when they say, "Oh my god, this is just the same as Batman." It was like, yeah, but you enjoyed Batman, didn't you? Well, then, shouldn't you be happy that Amazing Spider-Man's implementing the same features into their game? That's a very good thing, in my opinion. Same with Shattered Dimensions. People used to say that about Noir Spider-Man. They're like, this is ripping off Batman. It's like, well, good. More games should do it. It's an awesome feature which they've recognised players loved. It's just smart. But yeah, getting off that tangent, I completely agree with you, Jim Jenks. I thought it looked awesome. Can't wait for it to come out. And as always, I'm not going to do a walkthrough of Amazing Spider-Man 2 until I've seen the film, because I did that with the first Amazing Spider-Man. It kind of ruined the film for me a little bit. But I don't know how this works in the rest of the world, but Amazing Spider-Man 2 comes out in England, I think either on the 16th or the 18th of April. And I think in America it doesn't come out until May. So I'm assuming that's in all of Europe, not just England. But so it looks like I might see the film before I even get the game anyway. So I don't know when it's coming out in the rest of the world, but I'm pretty certain in America it's not coming out till May. So sorry guys. It's like I saw Captain America came out at the start of April, and I went and saw it, and then realised it didn't come out in America until like a couple of days ago. I just thought, oh well, there you go. It's kind of weird for an American film to release it in England and Europe before America. Normally over in Europe we get everything last. We always get everything like a week, like TV programs, we always get it a day or a week after the US, and it's quite weird to actually get it first. I think we did with Avengers and all these Marvel films, actually Europe gets it first. So, oh well, I'm not complaining. It's nice to see Europe getting something first for once. But Jim Jenks also said, did you know the Vision is in Avengers 2, played by the voice of Jarvis? Oh really? That's quite cool. Well, Avengers 2, I believe, is about Ultron, isn't it? I don't know how they're doing the story in Avengers 2, so I don't know how they're going to utilise that. But obviously Vision being in Avengers 2 would make perfect sense if Ultron's going to be there. So, yeah, man. Looks good. Can't wait. Lucas, oh my lord. Lucas Benaziewicz? Lucas said, Dave, I am Canadian and we don't always get snow, but anyways, we play Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yes, of course I'll play Amazing Spider-Man 2. And yeah, I thought like, this is probably me just being really naive and sort of closed-minded because I live in a different country, but I thought Canada, at least every winter got snow. I mean, obviously I know all year round you don't get snow, that's just ridiculous, but I thought every winter you're almost like guaranteed snow. But hey, you learn something new every day, I guess. Alexander said, hey Dave, did you get my tweet about the about being distracted by the jizzle physics along with the pick of Harley Quinn from Arkham Knight? No, I didn't actually. Yeah, about a week ago I got an email, like whenever you guys write a question on YouTube I get an email for like with the question blah 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 blah. But yeah, I got this question about a week ago and I remember looking at it on my phone. Straight away I went to Twitter and no, I haven't got your tweet at all actually. So I don't know, maybe if you sent it to the wrong Captain Dave, or as long as there's a guy on the front with a Batman top on the beach, apparently looking like a 30-year-old dad, then yeah, that's you've got the right guy. So maybe I have to try sending it again because I never saw it. And finally got 2 questions by Fintantinator. Said, what's the first comic book I read? Oddly enough, the first comic book that I remember reading is New Avengers Breakout, which is obviously it's quite a newer one in the scale of things, but that's the first one I remember reading, because I didn't actually get into comic books until quite late in my life. And I think the first time, like, I think I'd seen some and I'd looked at a few and maybe read a few pages of some and I thought they were cool, but I didn't actually start reading comics properly until the Marvel digital subscription came out, where I could read them on the Marvel website. So yeah, I think the first one I saw, they had like a preview of one. I think obviously to try and sucker you in, and it worked clearly. But they had like the first like 5 pages of New Avengers Breakout. So I thought I'd read it just to see if I could like get on board with reading comics, if it's the sort of thing I liked. Read those 5 pages and I had to find out what happened. So straight away I paid and subscribed to Thingy and read the rest of that. And then I read New Avengers, and then I read all of Amazing Spider-Man, literally as much as I could anyway. I think I read like 500 issues of Amazing Spider-Man in the space of a month. And and then I went through and just read just like almost the same amount, if not more, of X-Men, and then did the same with Fantastic Four. I literally just spanned back as far as I could and just read through all of them. And literally, I've in the space of about 6 months, I read nearly every single Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and X-Men comic I could. And then I started reading some of the events, and I started reading New Avengers, which if I had to choose, New Avengers I think are just far better than Avengers, than the normal Avengers. I don't know why, I just prefer them. The characters in them, like, obviously this is when I stopped reading it, so I'm assuming it's changed since then, but when I last read New Avengers, it had Spider-Man, Luke Cage, Wolverine, Thing, Iron Fist, I think Spider-Woman was a part of it as well. And there's a whole bunch of other people, Doctor Strange, stuff like that I'm forgetting. I just thought that was such an awesome team. I just thought it was so much better. And then you got the main Avengers, which was like Captain America, Iron Man, the Sentry, Miss Marvel, and I was just like, I don't care for these powerhouses. I really don't. I like your street level superheroes, your Spider-Mans, your Luke Cages. I love them. The Thing. I thought they were cool. And I've always liked the New Avengers more than the normal Avengers. But yeah, and obviously last question was, am I going to play South Park Stick of Truth? And as I've answered twice before, nope and nope. I will not. Oh yeah, and I think Hawkeye was in New Avengers as well. But anyway, I keep looking at the poster and remembering new people. But with that being said and done, that is all the questions answered from that month, I guess, at Captain Quarters. And as I said at the start, I don't know when the next one will be. When I first started this, I wanted it to be weekly. But in saying that, when I first started this, I wanted to be talking about the comments on the week's worth of videos, and it's become more just talking about last time's Captain's Quarters instead. But yeah, this might just become an as and when, like if I have a spare hour or two free, then I'll sit down and record one of these. Or if it might just become a monthly thing. Basically, there isn't going to be a set time, like whereas before I said it was weekly. It's now just going to be whenever I get time. So, yeah. But as I said, that's that. All done, all the questions done and dusted, and all your questions and comments answered. For last time's video, if, as always, you guys have any more questions or comments you want to ask me, feel free to leave it in the comments section below. And if you want to answer any of the questions that I've answered yourself, feel free, because I always love reading them out, and I obviously will read them out next time as well. And I love knowing your responses to some of the questions as well, because quite often you guys point out stuff that I just did not know. But with that being said and done, I've been Captain Dave, this has been the Captain's Quarters, and I'll catch you guys later.